This is episode 024 of Glioblast-O-Cast. What would I do differently if I could start treatment over? Hello, and welcome to Glioblast-O-Cast, the podcast about my life beyond glioblastoma. I'm your host, Meg Turasek. In this episode, I'll answer the question, what would I do differently if I could start treatment over? And, as usual, some links can be found on my show page with this episode. Nearing my 2-year craniotomy anniversary, I find myself reflecting on my journey so far. And that brings up the question of, did I do things best for me, or could I have done them differently for my treatment? Of course, there are many other things in my life I might have done differently, but that's for another episode. One thing is for sure, I would still do surgery and the standard chemo and radiation. As scary as the idea of surgery was, and being told by one of the anesthesiologists that I would probably die during surgery due to the seated position I was in so my neurosurgeon could have the best approach, I would still opt to start with surgery. As my tumor was only 9 millimeters, a biopsy to diagnose would have been more traumatic, as they would have cut through good brain to take a small sample to test. The risk for that seemed too great. If it turned out to be what it was, glioblastoma, I would have needed a second procedure to remove it all. So I definitely would do surgery again if I had to start over. At the time, I had wanted to get a second opinion before proceeding, but my surgeon made a lot of sense, and I really just wanted whatever it was in my brain out. ASAP. Chemo and radiation would still be on my protocol list, despite knowing my extreme low platelet reaction to the chemo. For that, I would be more diligent in seeking natural remedies for the low platelets, such as using vitamin B12 or checking iron levels or adding folate by boosting diet with peanuts, orange juice, kidney beans. I would definitely try supplements such as papaya leaf extract, melatonin, chlorophyll. I wouldn't just leave it up to the doctor saying that platelets have to come up on their own. I would try to do more. And I would have searched harder to work with a naturopathic oncologist. Instead of just doing standard treatment and waiting to see if that worked, I would have started on the naturopathic supplements much earlier, while still continuing the standard treatment. And that includes the cannabis oil. Now, I know supplements are not for everyone. I certainly was resistant, as I have a long history of being absolutely terrible at remembering to take any pills. And I really did want to give the standard treatment a chance to work. But knowing what I know now from my 2 years of living this journey, I would have really done my supplements sooner. I find that they help me. But so does daily exercise. I definitely would have been more diligent in doing the easiest stretching and moving routines daily, even when I was worn out from the chemo and radiation. I remember trying, but I was so very worn out from treatment that the sofa became my new best friend. It seems typical for us humans to second-guess decisions we make, but we need to know that those decisions are the best in the moment with the available information. So my big advice is to make the effort to get a second opinion, to seek reliable information, and breathe before jumping into any treatment plan. Ask every conceivable question. Don't be afraid to ask the surgeon and oncologist anything, even if it seems ridiculous. It's been a huge help for me to share stories and protocols with other glioblastoma warriors. And it's very easy to do that these days, completely online. No need to schedule a weekly support group if there aren't enough potential members local to you. You can share questions and tips globally, internationally, and maybe find a way to tackle the glioblastoma situation the best way for you. As finding support from my fellow glioblastoma warriors has been such a help for me, and I wish I had ventured into that earlier in my journey, I have a list of support organizations as well as the many groups on Facebook. Thanks for listening. This has been Glioblast-O-Cast, episode 24.